Cool. All right, hey guys, what's cracking? In my kitchen, just been shooting some Boozetrition with Alicia Stanhope, just here.
Hello.
Just been cooking some stuff up. You might have seen the message I put through before, which was all about like what is the best food to have prior to drinking, what's the best food to have while you're drinking, and then on those dreaded hangovers. And so, yeah, we've just been shooting that. So you guys will get to see that once it's all edited and cut up. But I thought, what a better time to have done it. So then we can show you some of the foods that we should be having pre, because it's Friday now. So we can show you some of the stuff if you have time, obviously. Don't stress too much. You guys know all the normal tactics and things when it comes to just getting... Oh, shit! If you have any questions, yeah, fire them on the Facebook or through here. Yeah, so while you're cooking, we'll just maybe look at this premium setup. While you're cooking, we can probably have a bit of a chat about what we were talking about. Holding a laptop, so it's a little bit awkward. Yeah, so what is alcohol actually doing when it goes into your system?
Yeah, right. So what happens is it goes through to your stomach and then it gets absorbed through your intestines. So right now, ideally you want to be at 4 o'clock. So making sure that you have something in your stomach prior to going out. Because what happens is if you don't have anything in your stomach, it's just going to go straight to your intestines and then all of it's going to get absorbed. And while if you think, oh, well, yeah, I want to go out and the aim of the game is to get drunk, you don't want to have that overload on your liver because your liver can only metabolize so much at once. So what's going to happen is it goes absorbed into your bloodstream and it's going to go to your liver. So it's gonna metabolize a small amount. And when I say metabolize, that just means that it's going to get broken down and excreted, usually through pee or through poo. And so what you want to do is to be able to, I guess, give yourself enough time to be able to detoxify it, get rid of it, and then the popcorn's popping.
Live.
And then, yeah, so from the liver, what will happen is, let's say you have your one mindful drink. If you are double fisting and you have 2 drinks at once, what's going to happen is your liver is going to be kind of on overload. And then so that alcohol, the ethanol in your bloodstream is going to go to your brain. And we've just spoken about this on the little workshop, the webinar that we'll post, but that's going to affect your neurotransmitters and that's going to kind of determine how drunk and I guess it affects, I don't know, do you really want me to go into all the details?
Yeah, we can do a few details while the popcorn's popping.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I won't really go through the details of like the neurotransmitters, but essentially what happens is you want to be drinking mindfully. So you want to be drinking, I don't know what you recommend, but like two drinks an hour type thing and drinking it with water as well.
Yeah, so I don't, as I said, we don't actually tell you exactly how much you drink. It's all about a journey about figuring out for yourself. And I think like that's why I think the doctors are a little bit hog-tied when it comes to how many standard drinks we're supposed to have. Yeah. And they decide on basically like, oh, this is binge drinking and it's changed over the last few years, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we let everyone else go to their own thing. But I guess like in terms of how much your body can actually take in is probably an interesting thing to chat about. Yeah,
well, that's all individualized as well. So that's going to depend on your genetics, and then if you are actually producing the enzyme that breaks it down, which a lot of people don't. And then also how much water you're drinking, the food that you've eaten beforehand, your nutritional status. Sometimes you can have a full bottle of wine and not feel it the next day. Some you might have a sip and you get so hungover. And then, that's just going to depend on, you don't want popcorn.
Nope.
How good is that? I love popcorn. So, that's going to depend on...
G'day, Dan. How you going, mate? Nick Komet.
Delicious popcorn. So this is actually, to get sidetracked, this is one of the suggestions to have as on hand for your hangover day. So if you want something salty, so the salt's good because that's going to help with your electrolytes. And you can even add on a little bit of butter, but I cook it in coconut oil, and then you put a little bit of salt on it, and it's delicious. Obviously, everybody loves popcorn. What was I talking about before? Oh, it all depends on your nutritional status.
What's a nutritional status? Is that how do we go about understanding that?
Yeah, so that's I guess it's not really you can't really measure it, but it's where you are, like the status that you're in nutritionally. So if you've been eating really well and you've been healthy, let's say you've been getting a lot of sleep. Actually, we can talk about it. So I talk about the pillars of health.
Yep. And we love pillars.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So my pillars of health are sleep and mindset. So mindset in terms of like stress perception and coping mechanisms, and your nutrition, digestion, movement, and fun. And part of that fun is being involved in a community. So making sure that you have those all aligned. So it's not just about the food that you're eating, but it's about your stress levels and mentally where you're at, and if you're sleeping well. So for me, when you have all of those aligned, that's good nutritional status. And then in terms of food, making sure that you are eating a lot of veggies. So I usually recommend people to be having about 2 to 3 cups of veggies with every meal. So if you were having that, and let's say pre-boozing, you're having 2 to 3 cups of veggies with every meal, and you're drinking a lot of water, and you're having a lot of sleep, then you'll be going into your boozing session with that good nutritional status.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Wicked.
Yeah.
We've also been talking about, so maybe we just go through a few of the foods that we got here.
Yeah.
As well.
I'll start doing this. Hang on. See what we have.
Hope you're not getting too sick with me trying to hold up the laptop. This is what happens live in a kitchen when you don't have a camera crew. But maybe we'll get a camera crew soon. We're actually got an opportunity to pitch a content series. So anyone out there got any thoughts on what you think is awesome? I think we've been getting some cool feedback about like this Boozetrition thought. And obviously we love talking about what alternate alcohols and even non-alcohols are out there that are interesting to look into, and reviewing that kind of stuff. But I think, man, this world of like the next stage of smart drinking, and I feel like there's so much content that you guys are a part of and where we can dive into. So anything that you like really would like to see, hit us up and I'll pitch that as part of the story. And maybe I'll come and interview a few of you guys about how you're getting on, which is, the point of this Zoom product that we've got, which is cool. What we've been doing this afternoon is having a look at different foods, but also having a bit more of that frank conversation, because sometimes you just want a fucking zinger burger, don't you?
Yeah.
On a Sunday when you're real hungover and you just like, give me the greasiest thing possible. So maybe we'll chat about that in a moment, about what the best thing there is. But what should we show next?
So this is what we had suggested to get to that kind of optimal nutritional state. So what we had done is we just roasted a bunch of veggies. And so if you do this, if you know that you're going to be going out, so say it was Thursday and you knew that you had a big weekend coming out, making sure that you're getting enough veggies that are going to support your liver. And so cruciferous veggies, which are your kale, broccoli, and cabbage, that family. So those are pretty much the main ones that you want to focus on with your liver. And then also beetroot as well. And then I put some sweet potato as well, just so you have some substance, and some chicken. So this is going to help support your liver, and then it's also going to give you some bulk and a lot of fiber to help your digestion for when you go out drinking. So this is really good, and it's so easy. You just put everything in, and you can pretty much just leave it, and then you can get a few meals out of it as well. So if you did this even on a Wednesday, you could do your meals for the rest of the week, and then know that you're going into your boozing session fully fueled. Yeah. And then what did we do? Actually, with the frittata, this was another suggestion. So another way so I'm all about doing kind of like easy and like maximizing your time. So if you do these veggies, what you can do is if you roast a bunch of veggies and then you just whisk in a pan, for example. So if you roast your veggies and then put them in a pan like this and then crack some eggs in it, you can make a frittata. And that frittata will last in the fridge for a few days. Mm-hmm. So when you're hungover and you wake up and you're just gagging for something to eat instead of going for something greasy down the road, you have a frittata in there so you can just eat that. So it kind of eliminates that temptation to binge on greasy food.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we were also going through, Nashi pear. So there's a lot of research on the fact that having pears before you go out is actually going to reduce your hangover symptoms. So again, that's completely individualized on how much you're going to be drinking. But if you are mindfully drinking and you know your limits, there's some research studies by Australian government bodies as well that have showed the reduction in hangover symptoms. So
cool.
These Asian pears.
And also apparently turmeric, that's big in Asia. So that's smashed turmeric. But we were just having a conversation, and Dan, who's on here as well, we've talked about anti-inflammatories. The next day, I think we've talked about, and I've never talked to him about pre. Yep. You were saying that they did studies with the turmeric versus anti-inflammatories, and they found very similar results, but there is a positive to the turmeric.
So with the turmeric, you have to do it in high dose. You can't just get it from food. And turmeric is harder to absorb, so you need to have pepper, so that helps the absorption of it. So you'd have to get it from the chemist, and you actually have to be careful which form. The ones that you can get over the counter, Bioceuticals does, I think it's called Theracumin. That one's a good one. But they've done clinical trials where up against the anti-inflammatories with turmeric, and it has the same outcome. So that's pretty cool. With your anti-inflammatories, the issues is that while it has two inflammatory pathways and it blocks both of them. So one, it blocks it and that's effective. And so it reduces your symptoms of having a headache and all those inflammatory symptoms. But then the other one is the digestion. So it restricts the production of your acid in your stomach. So what can happen with that is you can get ulcers, you can get dysbiosis, so that overgrowth of gut bacteria. And that's a lot. I see that so much. That people just take these anti-inflammatories thinking that, I get them from over the counter, it's not doing any harm, but it's actually be really, really mindful. And also on that one, with drinking as well, you don't want to be taking paracetamol. You want to be taking the NSAIDs because the paracetamol is going to do damage with alcohol to your liver.
So the old having 2 Panadols when you get home after a night on the booze isn't a good idea?
No, you want to be having the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. So that's the Nurofen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if any of you
not pushing that you should be taking Nurofen, but I mean, I know sometimes it's relevant. Yeah.
I used to I used to have
Yeah.
Panadols every time.
Yeah. Yes.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can only do, don't worry about the past. We've all made mistakes.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of this. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So, we got.
So next we were going to do a smoothie bowl.
Yep. We should make that up now.
Yeah, we should.
Let's do it.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, cool. So actually, we're going to So these are the greens from the beetroot. So I'm all about minimizing food wastage. So I try and use everything.
Beautiful.
And these have so many nutrients and so many people just toss them out. So what I usually do, I cut them up here, but you can bake them with your veggies, or sometimes I'll even freeze it for times like this, but never throw these out.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll put a handful. So we're going to make a green smoothie, and then
I actually read somewhere, and I'm pretty new to green smoothies as well. And I may as well get it out. 2 Aussie dudes, right? These guys are absolutely killing it. And just because they're legends, Athletic Greens. You might have seen them on Tim Ferriss. They get plugs everywhere, but there's a Kiwi founder, and the CEO's Aussie, lives 10 minutes away. And so, shout out to those boys, Adam and John, who I met in Croatia. But I love this. but on its own, for me, a little bit too green. So I think that's something, you know, I've read this when people go like, no, I'm going to start drinking green juices.
Yeah.
You have to actually think about your palate and what you like already, because a fully turbo green juice like Athletic Greens is pretty strong. But I found like having that with mangoes and like counterbalancing the flavors, because pure greens can be pretty gnarly a taste. But I think you do eventually work into it.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions on that? Like what's some good tactics for someone who would look at a green juice and just go like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so if you're doing the supplement form, which those are good, I don't have anything. I always try and push food as medicine. With supplements, the place is, if you're not in optimal health, like we're saying, that'll get you back up to that kind of ideal space that you want to be in. With the green ones, they're good because it's just an easy way to get in your B vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and all that. The best way to do it is to make it in a smoothie. And so you just kind of macerate it, like you said, with mango and with different veggies.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, we have some greens from the beetroot. And what I like to do with parsley is, you can use parsley's one where you can actually use the stems. So what I always do when I'm cooking is I always cut the stems off and I pop them in the freezer. And then, so I'll use them for smoothies. Or if you know they're going to be cooking with it, I'll actually just cut them all off and put those in the smoothie. But these are really good, especially if you have any heavy metal, high levels of heavy metals, which I see quite a few people that do. Parsley is really good because it helps chelate and it supports the liver. Mint is good because it's going to make it taste really fresh. And it's also good to help with bile production in your liver as well. And like with herbs, I try and put them in everything. Like you can add herbs to every meal. Mm-hmm. So whether you're doing like some sort of a sauce or salad, herbs are the best. And then we're going to put some avocado in as well. So we have some healthy fats and it makes it a little bit creamy. And what else are we putting in? We're putting in some banana as well. So the banana has potassium in it. And some blueberries. Blueberries are great for your liver, antioxidants. Sometimes when you put blueberries in, I like putting kiwis in. If you want it to be like completely green, put kiwis. Kiwi's actually really good. Has a lot of fiber in it and vitamin C. So if you are feeling sick.
Unless you're fucking allergic to it like me, don't have kiwi.
I know,
I saw it in there.
You're like, no, I can't.
No kiwis.
So we said coconut water is really good to have on hand.
We're going to see it, but let's go this way.
I mean, you can use it. This is just, one version. There's heaps of them, but what you want to look for is the ingredients. Sometimes they put fillers in it. So you want to make sure that there's nothing other than the coconut water. Sometimes they put stabilizers and you don't want to add to chemicals in your body if you're putting booze in your body. And also kombucha as well. So this is good because it's a natural source of your electrolytes. And so with your electrolytes, you want to keep that up because if you think of every time that you're going pee, you want to be absorbing the water that you're putting in your body, and also you want to be flushing out your kidneys because you don't want to be getting kidney stones from having alcohol and just being dehydrated. Mm-hmm. And a good way to kind of to measure how your kidneys are going, or if you have enough water, is looking at the color of your pee. Actually, when you're drinking, it'll always be clear, but usually that's kind of a good tip. Outside of drinking, so a lot of people don't realize how dehydrated they are, and they'll be feeling sick or always be getting sick, and it's because they're not drinking enough water, and it's the easiest thing to change. Mm-hmm. And with digestion as well, if people are getting constipated, just drink more water. Help flush it out.
Or coffee. I find that coffee's a good one.
What do you mean?
If you want to try and speed up the old.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like a good tool, but you don't want to become dependent on that.
No.
Yeah. So. And then, what was it? I'll put some cinnamon. I always like putting cinnamon in everything. It tastes good. And it's good for blood sugar regulation. Okay. Imagine if this went everywhere.
Pretty serious, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you some ice cubes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Freezer. Riveting section. Always shut your fridge and your freezer.
Tip number 1 in the kitchen.
All right.
So the blueberries always make it look a little bit darker.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. All right. Cups.
Yep, just up there. Maybe there's. Let's grab this one. Just do one. That's cool.
Yeah, smoothies are easy. And then so if you want to make it into a smoothie bowl,
Yep.
you just put a little bit less water, and then you can put nuts and seeds on top. Smoothie bowls are pretty popular. People know what they are. So put some nuts and some seeds and some shaved coconut. You can put whatever superfoods you want on it. But yeah, that's easy.
Cool.
And yeah, that's heaps of nutrients. If you're ever, and also I try and put as many veggies as I can. It's really good as well. It kind of has that neutral taste, and it's a good way. Like in the morning, what you can do is literally everything that we put in, you can freeze, and you can put in a little container, and then all you do in the morning is chuck it into the blender, and then have easy breakfast.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that's a good way to increase your nutritional status. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What was it? Have we talked about?
The bone broth?
Yes.
No.
So this is interesting. This is because the name slightly puts me off.
Yeah.
But
should we heat some up? Do you want to try it, or do you want to try it? Keep it for a big day?
No, let's try it. Yeah, we got it here. We got it here. Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, bone broth sounds a little bit Jack and the Beanstalk kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Um,
Small pot?
Yes.
I think we've used all of your dishes.
That's good. That's fine.
You guys are gonna have.
Try some cooking.
Yeah. Should we
Over
put
here.
some salt?
Oh yeah, because of the coconut oil.
It tastes a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Revelation.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, and you can even put like some different herbs and spices on it as well. Are there some
more savoury?
Yeah, or there's some recipes where you put like cacao on it and a little bit of cinnamon. Yeah. So with the bone broth, I pretty much get everybody that does my Love Your Guts protocol on it because it's so good for your guts. So what it is, it does sound funny, but it's literally just a stock of in the base of soups. So if you do a stew, for example, in the slow cooker, and it gets really jelly, if you put it in the fridge, it gets jelly. So that's because it's taken all of the from all the joints, it breaks it down, and all the nutrients from the bones, and that is essentially the stock. So if you put a bunch of bones from a chicken, or if you go to the shops, you always want to get organic, and you just put it in a pot of water with some apple cider vinegar and a little some veggies just for flavor, and then you reduce it down so it reaches all the nutrients from all the ligaments and all the tendons. And then you get ideally you want it to be, it's a little bit jelly, it's not fully liquid. And that jelly is gelatin. And so that is, and so gelatin and collagen, same. Everybody thinks of skin. So every So we call it epithelial cells, and so you have the same on the insides as well of your stomach and your intestines. So that collagen is going to help with elasticity, and it's going to help with all the damage. Because if you think of all the chemicals that we put in our body, alcohol, for example, and then processed foods, it wear and tears it. And then what you can do is you can get leaky gut. So you have your cells that should be like this, but then all of a sudden there's like little gaps in between your cells. So by giving it bone broth and collagen, that helps kind of block everything together.
Okay.
So in terms of a hangover, what we suggested doing is having this when you get home. So this is what I do. You come home, depending how boozy you are when you get home. If you're super boozed, you use a microwave, don't use a stovetop. And let me turn this on.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you want?
I'll do.
Oh yeah. So.
Swap this.
Yeah, one of them was.
That was yes. Yeah. So have it when you get home after a big night, because it's going to be hydrating. It's going to be really good for your guts, because I think everybody has experienced some gut disturbances when they get home, or sorry, like while drinking, or either the next day.
The splats.
Yeah. Same story for everyone. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be good for your gut health, and it's going to be hydrating as well. And it actually, I mean, yeah. So when you say the word bone broth, it does sound gross, but it's pretty much just the stock of soup. Yep. So if you wanted to, so you would buy this if you wanted to make any type of soup. This is just
base.
Yeah, but also you don't want to just be getting stock. So the difference between this is if you get stock, a lot of the times it's just additives. Whereas if it actually says bone broth, and you want to be looking for organic, because essentially what you're doing is you're condensing all the nutrients from the bones. So you don't want to be having farmed chicken or beef, and then all of the chemicals condensed into your like healthy stock. So yeah, trying to get organic. And if you buy it in the stores, you want to make sure that it's jelly as well. Making it is super, super easy. So yeah, put it in the slow cooker and then just reduce it down for 12 to 24 hours. And then you can also pop it in the freezer, or like I said before, I think I said on the other talk, what I do is I'll make a bunch of soups, and then you just pop them in the freezer. It's an easy lunch, easy dinner, or and it's an easy way to get nutrients. It's kind of the same thing as having a smoothie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Some good tips.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's, yeah, we've got lots on the go here.
We do. Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look on the Zoom chats. Yeah. All good. So yeah, I think one question is about that, if you need to have that zinger burger. I know you have some clients that won't cook for themselves, so you've had to actually scroll through Uber Eats and told them what to order. So if you really need that zinger, what is your thoughts?
So the suggestions on Uber Eats, for example, in Bondi or anywhere, you can go to a chicken shop and just get a quarter of a chicken and then get a couple salads. And I guess what you want to be looking for with salads is something that has, that's colorful. So kind of your greens, so either kale, broccoli, capsicum, tomatoes, that type of thing. And Benny and I were talking before this a couple of weeks ago, what if that's just not going to cut it? And so I met in the middle, and I said, if you wanted to get some fries, as long as you're having some greens, I'd meet in the middle and you can have some fries. You're getting some salt and satiety. So that's an option. What's really popular these days as well are poke bowls. Mm-hmm. So there's heaps of flavor in those poke bowls, and they're healthy as well. You're getting lots of veggies. And if you are feeling like, you can get them all veggies, but yeah, you can get them with noodles as well. So
yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's good. It ticks a little bit of the box from not completely giving up the things that you're craving, getting that little fix like we sometimes feel like we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a great session today. Eye-opening for me. Now I've got a bunch of awesome food to eat.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to have the token tonight. A couple of cheeky beers and hanging out. So I hope if you guys are. Oh, actually, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me my website. It's Alicia Stanhope, ALICIASTANHOPE.com.au. Or you can find me on Facebook as well, which is Alicia Stanhope.nutritionist.
Yep.
And ways that you can work with me. I do one-on-one consultations. I do gut health programs, which are depends where you're at. So we can do functional testing, looking at intolerances, and doing lots of gut healing. And then also I do pre-med meals, so depending on where you live in Sydney, we have different drop-off points. Yeah. Yep.
And for you global guys, if you just want to ask Alicia a question, she is in our Facebook group or this group. So just tag. And awesome. Thanks so much. We're gonna have a feast now. Yep. Maybe have beer. If you're drinking, always remember the tips and make sure you put in your tokens and have an awesome weekend. You.
Bye. Do you like spicy food? Like cayenne?
Yeah.